You ever sit in your room broke as hell, staring at your phone like, Aki, if I just had 500 bob, I'd be eating chapo and kuku right now? Yeah. Now imagine, instead of hustling for 500 bob, you figured out how to steal 449 million shillings, not from one person, but from a system so big they didn't even notice at first. That's exactly what one broke student from Egerton University did during COVID. While the rest of us were locked down, baking banana bread or doing online classes on a 3G bundle, Gideon Kipkurui Rono was busy pulling off one of the most ridiculous digital heists Kenya's ever seen. And bro, he started with nothing but a few lost ID cards. But to understand how this broke student turned himself into a millionaire riding a Subaru Forester, you need to see how deep this hustle really went. It all kicked off in 2020, right in the middle of lockdown.
This disease is not a joke. Kenyans must treat this matter with the seriousness it deserves. If we continue to behave normally, this disease will treat us abnormally.
While the world was crying about sanitizer prices and missing nyama choma joints, Gideon was busy scheming. On July 28th, dude gets a fat deposit. Not like 5K, not even 100K. We're talking millions. And the very next day, he walks into a motorbike dealership in Nakuru with 143,000 shillings in straight-up cash. No loan, no M-Shwari, no chama, just cash. He buys a Bajaj Boxer, and 2 months later, buys another one. Cash again. Now, normal hustlers buy bikes to do boda business. But Gideon, he's not using these bikes to carry passengers. He's buying them like toys, just vibes. And this wasn't luck. This was part of a calculated, step-by-step mission. What looked like small moves? Bro, they were chess pieces in a 449 million game. But what was the actual plan?
The key to making money in a situation like this is to position yourself now before the settlement.
To understand how Gideon pulled this off without a gun or even stepping into a bank, you gotta look at how he weaponized identity.
They walk in the thousands, most trying to eke a living or seeking a job.
Here's the trick. Gideon didn't need to hack any system. He just needed what Kenyans lose every day: ID cards.
You will see almost everyone carrying a brown envelope, and one is certain that they are clutching onto very important documents. An ID.
See, he'd go around Bomet town and collect lost IDs. Stuff you'd see pinned outside M-Pesa shops or posted on electric poles. Most of us ignore those. Gideon saw gold. Then he buys this device called a Safaricom MOIS machine. It's basically what agents use to register SIM cards. Each ID could register up to 5 SIM cards. So if you got 50 ID cards, that's 250 phone numbers. Now imagine this, 250 SIM cards, all signed up to Fuliza loans. Borrow money, send it to his main line, then throw away the SIM, repeat. That's how the bags started growing, quietly, week after week. Horned, but at some point, 250 SIM cards weren't enough. So Gideon did what any broke student with ambition would do. He started a team.
My highly trained Stratonites. My killers! My killers who will not take no for an answer.
First recruit, Isaac Kipkimoy, a student stuck in Limuru during lockdown. When he heard Gideon's plan, he didn't even hesitate. He was like, say less.
You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
Isaac connects Gideon to Nelson Kamo, a SIM swap veteran who brings in the real plug, Peter Gahi, an IT guy from Trans Nzoia who had access to Kenya's national registration system. You see where this is going, right? Peter wasn't just providing fake IDs. He was making legit-looking IDs with real data. That meant even Safaricom couldn't tell they were fake. Now the operation had 13 MOIS machines, hundreds of lines, and a rotating crew. The game had evolved. This wasn't small time anymore. It was organized crime, but cleaner, tech-driven, underground. But money needs to move. You can't just have a phone full of Fuliza cash. So how do you wash millions without alerting the bank? Onto Family Bank. Gideon opens an account, leaves it alone for 3 weeks, then boom! 90 deposits a day start pouring in, from 22,000 to 100,000, all from different M-Pesa numbers. Suspicious? Of course. But banks don't ask too many questions until they have to. So the team spreads the risk. Everyone opens accounts. Nelson, Edwin, Isaac, all under their names. Some accounts only receive money, no withdrawals. Clean, professional, harder to trace. Then, when cash builds up, they'd withdraw it in big chunks, 200K, 300K, and move it to different numbers, like laundering money, but via M-Pesa. It worked for months, until the cash was too much to hide. Because when you've got that much money, what's the first thing broke Kenyan boys do?
Look what I found in my pocket! Look! A year's salary right here!
With millions in the bank, the boys leveled up. August 2021. Gideon walks into a dealership, drops 1.4 million, and leaves in a Subaru Forester. Next day, road trip to Mombasa with Isaac, who just copped 1.3 mil for his own car. January 2022. Nelson buys a Subaru too. 2 days later, Jones joins the Subaru club. February. Edwin gets his own Forester. Gideon tops it all off with a Pro Box. These guys were living like tech bros. Except instead of pitching startups, they were Fulizaing millions off ghost sims.
Detectives also impounded 2 brand new Subarus, 1 Toyota Mark X, a Toyota Probox, and 2 motorbikes, which are believed to have been aiding the fraud.
But when you flex too hard, someone's gonna notice. And someone did. NCBA Bank, the real people behind Fuliza, started to notice a pattern. 123,000 SIM cards had borrowed loans and then disappeared, switched off, ghosted, no repayments, no explanations. That's when alarms went off. NCBA called the DCI. They started tracing M-Pesa transactions, following digital breadcrumbs. The trail led straight to Kiamunye, Nakuru. That was HQ. By August 2022, the game was up. Arrests came fast. Peter Gahi, the fake ID mastermind. Gideon Rono, the founder. Isaac Nelson Jones Edwin, the Subaru crew. They were dragged to DCI headquarters, interrogated, charged. That whole tech-powered empire, gone. Bro, let's keep it real. These weren't thugs. These were smart dudes, tech-savvy, organized, low-key brilliant. They could have built apps, started legit fintechs, maybe even created the next big Kenyan startup. But greed makes you think short-term, makes you believe flashing a Subaru is more important than building something that lasts. And now, instead of flying to Nairobi Tech Week or pitching investors, they're facing charges and probably time in prison. If you're broke right now, yeah, life feels unfair. The system is rigged. Jobs are hard to find. Rent's a problem. Food, a miracle. But bro, shortcuts don't last. What lasts is real work, real building, something you can be proud of without hiding from DCI. So, next time you think of cheating the system, just remember, the system always catches up. And if it sounds too easy, it probably is.